welcome back. Who here jumps at the chance to share their accomplishments with others or to boast about how awesome they are at their job? Well, research shows women are more likely to endorse their peers than themselves.
So here with tips on how we can self-promote with confidence is sociologist and the author of Hey Ladies, Stop Apologizing from McMaster University, Professor Maja is here.
We overthink what self-promotion actually is?
Absolutely. Self-promotion is just a way of connecting with others. It's a way of telling a story whereby you share your accomplishments. Self-promotion is a win-win. But in order to self-promote, you first got to figure out what your value is. What are you contributing to the company, the household, that's right, to your relationships? Let me give you an example. I love what I do, right? I love the research. I love spreading the message of confidence. I love telling women to stop apologizing, right? And I do this everywhere I go. I plant seeds of success everywhere I go, yes. Listen, I do this to the Starbucks barista. I do this at the gas station, to the hairdresser, the grocery store clerk, to perfect strangers everywhere I go. I let women know what value I bring, and that's what I want all of us to do. Learn your value, share it with others.
Okay. In this case, Professor Maja, I mean, it's perhaps easier said than done, because what are the obstacles that are preventing particularly women from doing that?
There are so many, but I only have time to talk about one. So here we go, okay? Stop living in obscurity. Stop thinking that you will live in obscurity and never self-promote, or you do, and then you're like, oh gosh, I sound so conceited and obnoxious. No, there is a solid middle ground that's just right for you, and that's right for you and for me, but it'll be different for all three of us. But the most important thing I want all of you to remember is that self-promotion is not just a leadership skill, it is a life skill. It is your, yes. Listen, it is your responsibility. It is your duty to know what value you bring, what your contributions are, and then you go and share it with everybody else.
You touched on it a little bit there, Maja, but there's this gendered notion that women should be humble. You know, this whole humility, right? The whole humility situation, but how much of a barrier does that create for women?
Yes, because we're programmed to think that good girls don't brag, right? That we need to be humble everywhere we go. We gotta be humble. Do you know the definition of humble? I'm gonna tell you right now. Humble is having or showing a low estimate of one's own importance. And I gotta repeat that because this is so important. You gotta write it down. The definition of humble is having or showing a low estimate of one's own importance. I don't want that for myself. I don't want that for us. I don't want that for our daughters. Are you kidding me? And this is what happens. We have been socialized into thinking that we need to think about everyone else's needs and feelings so that, heaven forbid, I share my accomplishments and then somebody else feels badly about themselves. No. And researchers actually have a term for it. You know what we call it? Feminine modesty, the tendency to downplay, to minimize our accomplishments. So wait a minute. You want me to diminish myself? You want me to diminish my self-worth to make others feel better? Hell no. No, ladies.
No. So as you mentioned, the term is feminine modesty. Does a masculine modesty exist?
Oh my goodness. Ambition is expected of men. It's an option for us. Confidence is expected of men. It's frowned upon for women. And I'm going to give you such a great personal example of the differences between how men and women self-promote. So after my PhD, I got this prestigious postdoctoral position, right? And I go to the hospital to meet the chief researcher, a surgeon. He comes out of the OR in his medical scrubs, and he puts out his hand to meet me. And he says, "Nice to meet you, Maja. I am the foremost surgeon known worldwide for this groundbreaking technique, and you can look me up in 35 different newspapers across the world." Woo! Am I being punked? Have you ever met a woman who introduced herself with such casual bravado? Have you ever met a woman, everyone here, have you ever met a woman that led with her accomplishments. Because you know what we do? Oh, women say, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. I'm just a part-timer. No, my friend, you're an organizational ninja. You are, yeah. Listen, you are the emotional safety net of your family, of your workplace. And this is what I want you to do. You remove the word just from your vocabulary. And this had such a profound effect on me that I went home and I wrote the acknowledgements for my books. And I thanked the only person that mattered. I thanked the number one person for my success. You know who that is? Yes! It's me! That's right! I thanked me! Yes! They're learning. They know.
This is the thing when you come here. It's like we feel like we can take on the world, and we should be able to feel like we can take on the world. So, okay, someone's watching right now, and they're like, ooh, I need more of this in my life. What is something they can do right now to begin self-promoting?
Assume nothing. Stop assuming that there is some career fairy that's going to swoop down and tell your boss and your boss's boss how awesome you are. Stop waiting for your accomplishments and your efforts to be known by everybody else. It's not going to happen. This is what I want you to do. I want you to go home. You think about what value you have. You think about your accomplishments. You write them down. You internalize them. You say it aloud, and then you share it with everybody else. But also, number 2, stop conducting autopsies on your failures. Stop bringing other people's attention to your mistakes. They're going to get there. They'll find out. You don't need to draw attention to it, okay? This is how the number one way students introduce themselves to me. They put out their hand. Professor Maja, it's nice to meet you. They put out their hand. Oh, gosh, my hands are so sweaty. Sorry about that. I wasn't thinking about your sweaty palms. You drew my attention to that. Now I mean Lysol wipes. What are you doing? Why are you bringing that to my attention?
If there's one takeaway that people can take away from you being on the show today, what do you want that to be?
Okay, are you ready? This is it. This is what I want you to do. I want you to stand up. I want you to stand up, ladies. This is what we're gonna do, right? You're gonna put yourself in a power pose, right? You're gonna look in the mirror. You are gonna feel that joy. Oh, that's a good power pose. You're gonna feel that joy. You're gonna feel that confidence. And you're gonna say, who told you to be quiet about your accomplishments? Who told you to diminish yourself? Ladies, it's time. We own this. Self-promotion is a glorious thing, and we can do it, ladies. It's time. It's time.
So timely. Oh, Professor Maja. Yet again, you have brought us to church. Thank you, Professor Maja, as always.
Thank you.
This has been awesome. So power pose. And if you need a reminder on all of this, go to thesocial.ca. We'll be right back after this.